actually cloud is. So cloud is a model of computing with servers, right from the servers to the storage to the applications that we deploy. Everything is managed by any single entity. That here the entity can be any organization or any cloud service provider. And this entire cloud function is done through just one click on the internet. So what was the reason of having cloud, right? So like instead of organizing having to maintain a huge investment on like buying equipments, training their staff, right, providing ongoing maintenance, with the cloud computing, any organization that can just pay a little bit of fees to any service provider, and they get all of this at just one click on their WordPress. So since the cloud has emerged in this ongoing field, before cloud computing, companies have to store that data and the software applications on their own hard drive and on their own servers. So like the bigger the company, the more data they have to store, the more costing they have to support. So this way of treating of data was not at all scalable, and the speed was also not so reliable. And that's why cloud computing came into the picture. And we have here the expert himself, Nirav Kothari sir, who will be speaking why cloud is so important and how Google Cloud provides everything to us. Before us starting out with the event, I'll just give you two main key pointers so that you stay tuned with this event. First of all, there will be a quiz while ongoing this event, and the winner of this quiz will get something in the reward. So we'll be discussing afterwards of what the reward will be. So make sure you stay tuned and stay focused on this session. At the same time, if you have any doubt or if you want something to be answered, you just post them in the chat section. After the entire session, we'll be working on the Q&A session. So make sure you all stay tuned and stay updated with the entire session that is going on, and hoping for the best. So like this was the introduction about what the session will be and how we are going to conduct it. Now comes the time where we will introduce the entire panel that is going to present this presentation. So right from this, we have three major colleges following this. The first one is VJTI, then UMIT, and then DJSCE. So from the VJTI, I would like to introduce herself, the lead of VJTI GDSC, Vriddhi.
Hello everyone, my name is Riddhi Gupta and I'm the current lead of GDSC VJTI. Nice to meet you all and I hope you enjoy this session. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay, so right after Vriddhi, we have the cloud facilitator of VJTI, Sara.
Hi everyone, I am Sara Tisekar and I am the cloud facilitator for GDSC VJTI. And I'm really looking forward to this session, and I hope all of you are equally excited because it's going to be a very insightful session. And it was a really good gist given by Soham about Google, the cloud, what exactly cloud is. And I think you all are really excited and really want to know more about the cloud. So stay tuned.
Great. Okay, so after VJTI, here comes the UMIT college, and from the UMIT we have the lead herself, Sweeney. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Tejasvi Saudhari, Google Developer Student Club's lead for Usha Mittal Institute of Technology. I have been a core team member last year, so I know how this whole journey goes, and I think you all will enjoy the whole cloud journey. It is like there are a lot of surprises in your way for this journey. You will gain a lot of knowledge, and I hope you all will enjoy this session a lot. And yeah, you all are free to ask any doubts. We connect with us all, and yeah, that's all.
Great. All right. So after Tejaswini comes the cloud facilitator of UMIT, Janvi Desai.
Hello everyone, I'm Janvi Desai. I'm from the GDSC of Usha Mittal University of Technology. I have been a core member since last year, so as Tejasvi, I also know how things go around here. I'm the cloud facilitator for this year. So if you guys have any doubts, feel free to connect with us.
Awesome. So here we end with VJTI and UMIT. Now comes DJSCE. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm the founding lead as well as the cloud facilitator of DJSCE College of Engineering, Mumbai, and I'm actually fascinated by the level of enthusiasm that I see in the campus towards GDSC as well as the cloud program that we are going on, and it actually motivates me as well to make sure that we provide the best resources available for you. So I'm looking forward to answer all of your questions, and we hope that we provide a little bit of insight to you. Uh, and by that, I would like to end my introduction. Uh, the next person I would like to make sure that introduces himself is Rushank Shah. He's the cloud coordinator of GDSC DJSC. Over to you, Rushank.
Yeah, hello guys. My name is Rushank Shah, and I'm the cloud coordinator for DJSC Google Developer Student Club. And some few words about cloud is that it just fascinates me that how beautifully cloud has been designed so that it can be scaled to a large amount of computation, and we can do a lot amount of computation and arithmetic over the cloud. This thing just motivates me, and I think the future of cloud is like quite enhanced, and when mixed with machine learning and AI, we can achieve tasks which was unachievable in remote areas or just like remote places where we didn't have this distributed architecture. So with that, I would just like to encourage you all to learn more about cloud, and feel free to ask any doubts. And these are the only motivations which help us to create such sessions, so that you all can know more about how cloud works, and in particular how Google Cloud helps you in developing applications. So thank you.
Awesome. So here ends the entire introduction of the panel. Now I would like to introduce you the speaker himself, Nirav Kothari, sir. So like a few words about sir. Sir is a Google developer expert of Google Cloud Platform, and he is also a co-organization of GDG Cloud Community in Mumbai. Solution architecture with 16 plus years of experience all over, and at that same time deep expertise in designing system architecture and development using cloud services. So we are really glad that sir is here, and he is here to provide some useful insights that might help any one of you all. Even we will be glad to know a lot of things through this session. And over to you, sir. I hope everyone stays tuned. Sir, you are not mute. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, sir.
It's my pleasure that I am talking to you all today with young generation. You know, I've been like now, I have like 16 years, 17 years of experience now, and I've been working on this cloud related technologies since so many years now. But I would like to see all of you to, you know, get into this fascinating journey of cloud. And, you know, I would like to see you all, you know, taking this to the next step, next level now. With that, I would like to start my presentation, and I would like to share my screen first.
Sure.
Let me know if this is visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Is visible? Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to talk about how you guys can start, you know, your journey into any cloud, or basically cloud computing. And later on, why would you like to go onto Google Cloud? There are many cloud providers available in this market, but why would you like to go with Google Cloud? And the third thing that I would like to explain you is that, or would like to cover in this talk is, you know, what kind of ML related services are available in Google Cloud Platform, so that you can start building your own interesting, exciting applications with minimal efforts, you know. So that's the advantage that we get with any cloud providers. You don't have to work, you know, reinvent the wheel. You have to use what is already built for you, and within a day's time, you can start building your applications. With this, I would also like to explain you what kind of applications you can make, what kind of services you can utilize, and what kind of applications you can make. The only reason behind this is, you know, you can get started thinking about what is the potential of the cloud and what can you make out of it. You've been seeing that, so many startups are coming up these days, and these startups are nothing but, some unique idea. They start with a unique idea and then they take up to such a high level that, even Zomato and Swiggy were, a small idea at one point of time. And today they are, such a big IPO in this market. I want you guys to start thinking, start convincing all of this in your brain, and tomorrow you will be the next entrepreneur. With this, I would like to start my presentation on cloud. Here is a small, brief about me. I think Soham has already explained what I am. I'm a Google developer expert in Mumbai, and specifically in the Google Cloud Platform category. I'm Google Certified Professional Cloud Architect. So there are various certification programs provided by Google Cloud, and I'm certified for Google Cloud Architect level certification. I'm also a co-organizer of GDG Cloud Mumbai. Well, I would say it's a community in Mumbai, which where all the like-minded developers have come together and formed this community. There are more than 5,000 people in this community as of today. I would encourage all of you to, subscribe to this community, and you guys will be notified for all, events that come up, whatever events that we organize. You will be notified for that, and you guys can be part of these events as well. Professionally, I'm a technical architect. I'm having 17 years of experience. Currently, I'm working with Quantify Analytics in Mumbai. So that's about me. Let me start with a very small definition of cloud computing. The reason, I know you must get puzzled with this, but the reason I said it is very small is because the kind of functionalities, features that cloud computing provides, as against that, this definition is definitely too small. But let me not confuse you, okay? I don't want you to get confused on the day one. So let me, reformat the same definition in a much presentable format. Okay. Now, when we talk about cloud computing, what does that mean? You must have heard, you must have seen, and of course, you must have used these services, Amazon and Flipkart services. They are delivering products to you. But what is cloud computing? That is also a delivery. But they are not delivering products. Rather, they are delivering you computing services. Now, I understand what is product, delivery of a product. What is delivery of a computing services? To understand that, let's understand what is computing first of all. When you say computing, your computer, what all thing does it have? It has a machine or a kind of server. It has storage devices, most likely your hard disk, your SMD devices and all that. You have RAM and all that, right? Sometimes you also have databases, right? Sometimes if you have more than one computer and if you want to get connected, get those machines connected, you need a networking. You must be having Wi-Fi in your house, right? So that is again a networking. So apart from that, you also need operating systems. You need various softwares, Microsoft Office and whatnot. You need some sort of analytics. Usually, this is analytics and intelligence is not for individual users, but this is specifically for people who are for managers in companies. They need some kind of dashboard to check how a business is running. So analytics and intelligence are also a kind of software only, and that is also a kind of computing service. Now, by cloud computing, we are talking about delivery of all of these computing services. Server, storage, databases, networking, etc., etc. Okay. Now, I understand that delivery of computing services, but why the word cloud, right? So these services, you are not going to get it at home. It's not something that somebody will come to your home and give it to you. It's available on internet, and that's why it is called cloud computing. Here, internet is referred as cloud. Cloud. When you go to cloud, so from here, from ground level, you see cloud, you see there's something existing. But when you go to that height, that altitude, you won't see anything. There's nothing there, right? You'll see there's nothing like cloud. That's what exactly, this internet also. There's no physical location where it is existing. And that's why that is also referred to as cloud. So I hope by now you are clear about what is cloud and computing, right? Now, why is this so popular? Why is this concept even existing? There are a few reasons behind that. Because it offers faster innovation. What do you mean by that? Let's say today you want to build an application. How will you deploy it? Where will you run it? Let's say you know programming, you wrote the code and you developed the application. But where will you run it? You need some machine, right? Now, initially you may start deploying that application or running that application on your local machine. But when the scale goes on, scale increases, you will not be able to deploy it on your machine. You will need a dedicated, huge server-side machines. And that's where, the problem comes. Today, if I want to deploy one application, I will have to go to store, buy a new machine, bring it to home, deploy an application there. Of course, set up everything and then deploy an application. Now that's a huge amount of time to do all of this. But when you are deploying this on machine which is provided by cloud, it's within seconds you can achieve a machine. And simply with few clicks you can achieve a machine. You can get a machine, you can deploy your application over there. Which means you are achieving a faster innovation. You can innovate your application very quickly. Second, today you want to deploy this application on one machine only. Tomorrow, if that application size grows, you want to deploy it on 2-3 machines. You can easily, flexibly create resources. And that's why cloud computing comes into play. Economies of scale, when you have hundreds of applications, you cannot, deploy hundreds of machines in your room. You need something like cloud where, which does not occupy your space. The pricing of space in Mumbai. That's why economy of scale is very important. Apart from that, another benefit that cloud computing provides is you have to pay only for cloud services that you use. Let's say you started your machine on Monday morning and you ran your application on Monday morning. Friday evening, before going home, you want to close down that machine so that you are not being charged by cloud. That is all possible with cloud computing. Whereas in case of physical machine, it was not possible. Once you buy that machine, you are paying it for the lifetime. You have to pay upfront. You have to invest like 40,000-50,000 to buy that machine and then deploy your application. Without that, you cannot. If you are not having that money, you cannot even start your application. Whereas in case of cloud, you are paying only for what you use. So let's say today you pay like 10 rupees, 15 rupees, just like that, right? So it's quite economical also, and you don't have to do upfront commitment of monetary money basically. You can also reduce your operating cost with cloud. You can run your infrastructure more efficiently. Today, let's say it's Diwali time. You know that so many people are going to use your application. You can, spin up hundreds of virtual machines and run your application on hundreds of servers. Now Diwali is over, let's say, and after Diwali you want to bring it back to 2-3 machines again, because the load on your application has reduced. Now that is possible with cloud. Imagine that if you had a physical machine. With physical machine, you couldn't give it back to the store that I don't want this machine now. So that's possible with cloud computing, and that's a flexibility that you get. Of course, if your business scales, you can employ more and more machines, and of course you can bring it back to your original state as well. So that's the benefit that you get with cloud computing. Now, a lot of things that I mentioned, but let me summarize this in this slide. When we say cloud computing, it can be described by these 5 features. You have it's basically a on demand. So whenever you want, you can take the machine, okay? And whenever you don't want, you can switch it off. It's a self-service, it's you're doing it at your wish. Whenever you want it, you do it. Also, you can automate this. So you can, automatically fire one API on Monday morning to start your application. And Friday evening, you can schedule it, of course. And Friday evening, it will send out an API to, close down your machine. So, it's completely automatable, and it helps you to, achieve the scale. That's possible with cloud, which was not possible with physical machine. You had to manually switch on the machine, start the windows, start your application, all of that. Apart from that, another benefit that you get is broad network access, which means that, if your application is running somewhere, you can access it from anywhere in this world. You don't need to be physically present next to your machine. Whereas in case of physical machine, you have to be present next to your physical machine and start your application. The third feature is something that I haven't covered till now, but it's called resource pooling, which means that the cloud providers invest in huge machines. Now on single machine, they create multiple virtual machines. So one physical machine runs multiple physical machines, and each of these physical machines might be catering to different clients. So on a machine, we have multiple physical machines, and all of these are being serviced to different clients. So that's how they are achieving resource pooling. Rapid elasticity, as I mentioned, you can scale up, scale down your application at any moment. You just have to click few buttons, and that's all. Measured service, as in, you have to pay only for time it is up and running. For other times, you don't have to pay anything. So that's a benefit that you get. Let's think of, let's say you are creating a project for your project work in your college. You can spin up a VM on cloud, use it till you have Vivas and project showcase and etc. And then you can spin it down. You cannot have physical machine, to just for your Vivas and demonstration purpose. So that's how cloud computing is very flexible and very useful in today's date. Now, why are we even talking about this? How did we get here? Why are we even going here? And where are we heading? So initially, I'm talking about 1990s and initial basically 2000s. If I had to deploy one application, I had to do these 4 steps. I had to write an application, programming, coding, etc. Once my application is, I'm sure that the coding is done, I would think about sizing of application. That would I need a 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM to deploy this application? Would I need 2 virtual CPUs or 4 virtual CPUs. So this is the kind of estimation that we have to do, sizing related estimation. Once we do that, we procure those machines and we have to handle all the logistics of shipment and all that. Once we have that in our premises, we have to set up operating systems, install all the server applications, libraries, dependent libraries, etc., etc. And then after that, your application is ready to run. Now that is a huge time after we developed our application. That delayed your application deployment. And that's where cloud computing came into picture. What cloud computing said is that, look at the center part of this diagram. It says that you only work on application development. Sizing and estimation, you don't need to do it, because you can start with simple 2 virtual CPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM. You can start with that. And whenever you think your traffic is increasing, you can increase your machine size. So you don't need to size, do the sizing estimation beforehand. So that's the advantage that cloud gave. Plus, you don't have to work with procurement and logistics of your machines, because it's coming as a service to you. You only have to focus on setting up your server and libraries and etc., etc. So this was the first generation of cloud, where we eliminated 2 of the major delaying factor. Now we are in the era where we are also automating the third part, which is setting up of OS, operating system, libraries, server applications, etc. That is all taken care by cloud in the third diagram that you see here. And that's the model what is called as serverless, which means that it is fully managed, fully automated, which means that you just have to work on your application development. And once your application is ready, you just have to upload your server application onto cloud, and they will take care of how to deploy it, what machine size, where to deploy. All of that will be handled by them. In case if the traffic increases, it will automatically scale up your application. It will automatically spin up more and more instances of your server, and it will be able to handle more traffic. So you in this operating paradigm, you are only focusing on application development, which means that what does it mean to organization? Organizations have to only employ application developers. They don't have to employ developer or DevOps or ops related kind of professionals. You must be aware about at some point of time when I used to pass my engineering and all, there was a role which was being played, which was called DBA, which is database administrator. In today's world, there is no role called DBA, database administrator, because that's all handled by cloud providers now. So that roles are now vanishing just because of this new technologies available. And you can, as an organization, you can focus only on your business application rather than the logistics and all of that. I hope this is very much clear to all of you, where we started, what was the first generation of cloud, and where we are heading towards. Let me move on. I'm spending too much of time on each of these slides. I need to rush a little bit because there are a lot of slides to cover, but I want to spend more time on this so that the concepts of cloud computing is very much clear to you guys. Okay, let me now speak about why you should go into cloud. What is the advantage that you will get out of it? Let's look at the trend which is seen on the left hand side. Look at the 2011. almost 51% of applications or 51% of organizations were using cloud. But in today's world, let's look at the 2020. 81% of overall organizations in this world are now using cloud, be it a small scale industry or a large scale industry, which means that everyone is, engaging cloud for all your IT, all their IT infrastructures. And this is going to go up, and you can just imagine by the time you pass your engineering, you might not see any organization which is not associated with cloud. So it's a right time that you get associated with cloud today, and earlier the better. Let's look at some of the applications which are being used or which are being developed using cloud. All the websites that you would have seen, you might be browsing various applications and various web applications. Book My Show and those kind of web applications, they are all created using cloud. Talking about collaboration and communication solutions, which means your Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Skype, or Microsoft Teams, whatnot, Zoom, they are all developed using cloud. Talking about CRM and all this enterprise applications, usually nowadays all the major, not major as such, large scale industries or enterprises do have some sort of enterprise applications for managing their operations. And these are called customer relationship management application or ERP, like SAP and all that. They are all deployed using cloud. Mobile applications, Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, Ola, they are all cloud applications. BI and data warehouse applications, which is, as I mentioned, all your managers nowadays use some sort of dashboards for taking efficient decisions. And for that, they need some sort of dashboard applications, which is usually called as BI, business intelligence applications. These are nowadays migrating to cloud. Even your AI and machine learning applications are now deployed and built and developed using cloud. So there are no applications left where cloud is not associated. It's a high time that you guys get started with cloud. Even if you say that I am only interested in Java programming, or I'm only interested in machine learning programming, you still will have to work with cloud. There's no alternative to cloud. Everyone has to now work with cloud. It's that important as of now. Now that's about why you should jump into cloud. Now let me talk about what are the cloud categories or kind of classification of cloud. When we say cloud, there are various types of cloud. There are public cloud and private cloud. What do you mean by that? Private cloud is that cloud, of course. One second. So when I say cloud, they are all having these features of scaling up, scaling down, provision your resources whenever you want, on demand, etc. All of these features are there in all these categories, be it private cloud or public cloud. But what are the differences in them? So private cloud is something that's a cloud specifically employed for one particular enterprise. Okay, so that is private cloud. And public cloud is something that it is shared across various enterprises. All Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, they are all called public cloud, because on the same cloud they are serving various organizations, various enterprises, and that's what is called as public cloud. Another categorization of cloud is multi-cloud and hybrid cloud. What do you mean by multi-cloud? Multi-cloud is something let's say if your application architecture decides that I want to use some services from Google Cloud, some services from AWS, and some from Microsoft Azure. Means to serve efficiently one application, you are making use of multiple clouds. And that's what is called as multi-cloud. What do you mean by hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is, it's a combination of public cloud and private cloud. You have some sort of application, some portion of your application running on private cloud and some portion running on public cloud. Now, let me give you examples of both of this. Why would I use multi-cloud and why would I use hybrid cloud? Multi-cloud is specifically used to get the best of the breed features from all of these cloud providers. Not all cloud providers are good at all the services. So you might use some good services from AWS, some good services from GCP, etc., etc. And at the same time, you are actually, reducing the reliance on any particular cloud. So that's the advantage what you get when you employ multiple cloud. Why would you use hybrid cloud? See, there are various organizations which believe that some of the data we cannot send it outside our organization, and that's only because of compliance purposes and audit related purposes. So they cannot send the data out of their organization. So what would they do? They would set up a private cloud in their organization, and of course they want to leverage the best of benefits that they get from public cloud. They also want to leverage that. So they would say, we would have our computing power running on this public cloud, maybe GCP, AWS, and etc. And we would have all our data which we cannot send out. We would have those data lying in our private cloud. So that's the scenario where you would usually use hybrid cloud. Well, these concept, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, are quite advanced topic. You would not use it in the initial years of your journey. You might want to get started with private cloud as the beginning of your journey, and then you can explore more and more of these features. Now, when I talked about public cloud providers, so who is providing us the public cloud? So you are already aware that Google Cloud Platform, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure, these are the leading cloud providers in the market. Well, AWS holds the major market share. The second and third are Azure and GCP. But let me tell you one thing, that GCP is the fastest growing cloud provider in this, in today's world. It's growing at a very fast pace, and a lot of people are migrating to GCP as of now. Apart from these providers, there are providers by, Oracle is also a provider, Alibaba Cloud, which has recently come up, and IBM also is the player. But of course, they have a very very small market share. That's all about generic cloud computing. Now, whatever slides that you see, that will be specific to or restricted to GCP. Now, what is GCP? So basically, whenever you spin up any resource in GCP, they actually get allocated. I won't call allocated, but they get created at some or the other locations in this world. Okay. Now, what are these locations? So these locations can be split into two concepts. One is regions, and second is zones. Now, regions are basically geographical regions. Okay. They do not mean any city or state or country or continent. Depending on their traffic, usage pattern and all that, GCP has defined the boundaries of the regions, but you can consider regions as some geographical region in the world. And for each region, they have 3 or more data centers, which is usually called as zones. That's where all your infrastructure lies. Okay, so whenever you create a new virtual machine, that is usually created in the infrastructure which is present in zone. Now that zone may be present in one of these regions. There are right now 28 regions in this world. All the blue dots that you see here are the regions available in this world. And you can see regions is spread across all the continents of this world. In the last slide, we talked about various regions that GCP has. This slide shows fiber optic network connectivity between all of these regions. All the traffic or the data transmission happens among these regions through high-speed fiber optic, and that's a fiber optic network which Google has laid out across this world, which includes underwater submarine fiber optic cable. You can see some of these cables are running between the continents, and those are, undersea fiber optic cables. So GCP has invested so much in laying this network infrastructure, and that's why we are getting such a high speed on Google related products. Now, see all the black dots that you see out here are something called as edge POP, point of presence. These are the points where Google's network, optical fiber network, meet with other internet services, internet service providers. These are the black dots where they meet it. And you can see all the connectivity among these. Now let's say if your application is running in US, and from your home you are accessing that website. So what will happen is, from your house to a black dot that you see in Mumbai region, that communication will happen over normal internet, and then from that edge POP, which is in Mumbai, from there to US, all the communication will happen over fiber optic, which means that you all know that fiber optic communication is very fast as compared to normal internet. That's why you are able to access application very fast, even though their application is running in a different region somewhere in US. That's why you get a bit of high speed with the GCP. Here are some of the that Google has. Right now, they are all using GCP, Google Cloud Platform. One thing that you would like to observe here or note here is, you can see the enterprises from all the industry. You can see companies from banking industry, automobile industry, electronic manufacturing industry, all web applications like No Broker and all that. So you can find enterprises, who's running their IT infrastructure on GCP. So GCP comes as a boon to all the industry, irrespective of what industry you are in. Now let me talk about so we talked about GCP has lots of services. So what kind of services GCP has? It has hundreds of services, but we can categorize these services, Google Cloud Platform services, into 4 different verticals. One is compute related services. which is usually dealing with providing you some services by which you can deploy your applications. But why do we have these many different services even in compute vertical? I'll come to that in the next slide. But there are little bit differences in all of these services, and based on your kind of acquaintance and kind of comfortness, you can choose which service to use. But compute is more about how you deploy your applications, your infrastructure, basically machines, and where you can deploy them. Another kind of services that GCP provides is storage related, which means that databases or a kind of your hard disk and all that, that is all storage. There are also various types of databases available in the market, and GCP provides that as a managed services, so that you don't have to work with hardware, installing databases, patching, adding all the patches, every recurrent frequency, they keep on releasing security patches and all that. You don't have to install that. Google takes care of that for you. So, and that's why it is called as managed services. You just have to click a button and the database is ready for you. You can start querying that database. You can start storing database data in your databases. The third vertical that I would like to take up is big data. Now, it's a very pretty recent concept and a little bit advanced topic, but to make it easier for you, big data is, now companies have been storing their data since decades now. Now that data has become so huge now that collecting any information from that data makes your query very slow. And that's why the big data solutions come into picture. That makes it easier for you to handle this big data, huge data, and also query this data easier. So Google provides lots of services related to big data, and it's a little bit advanced topic. I don't want to confuse you at this point of time, but once you get more and more acquaintance to GCP, you guys can delve more into big data services. The fourth vertical that I would like to cover here is machine learning related services. So Google Cloud provides lots of services related to machine learning. If you know machine learning, how to develop models and all, very good. Google has services to build your models, train and serve your models. But if you don't have in machine learning, doesn't matter. Google has already created models for various defined use cases, and they have made it available as APIs. So you don't have to, learn machine learning, but rather you just have to use these services available. I'm going to give more importance to machine learning APIs that GCP provides. I'm going to cover that in this deck later. And the reason that I want to talk more on machine learning as compared to other verticals is because you might feel that it's more of a magic, and you can get started thinking about what kind of applications you can make with machine learning. And GCP has made it so handy for all of you that within a day's time, you can start your application by using these APIs. So I'll go into machine learning little more in depth. Let me start with compute first. So I'm only going to cover compute and machine learning here. So when I say compute services, there are actually multiple services available in GCP, depending on what kind of model you want to leverage, whether you want infrastructure as a service kind of service you want, or you want platform as a service, or a Kubernetes kind of service. What is the difference between all of this? So when you say infrastructure as a service, you actually get a virtual machine with a specific operating system that you can choose. So when you click on a button, you get a virtual machine with specific OS. Then it's your responsibility to install your application, dependencies, etc. If you want to work with that model, you use infrastructure as a service, IaaS service from GCP, and from GCP that service is called Compute Engine. If you want something called as platform as a service, which means that, remember we talked about serverless model, where you just have to work on your application development and then you upload the bundle of your application, and GCP will handle infrastructure, deploying the server, deploying your applications. All of that will be handled by that. And that programming model is called platform as a service. And what we get in GCP as a PaaS is something called as App Engine. You don't have to work with the infrastructure. Okay. There are services also, Cloud Run and Cloud Functions, which are also a serverless model. But I don't want to confuse you at this point of time. But you can dig further about what are the differences in that. If you want something called as event trigger, any event gets triggered and you want to execute certain functions, that's where you can use Cloud Functions. If you want if your application is containerized, you might not understand what is containerized, but if you want to deploy your application as a container, you can leverage Cloud Run and Kubernetes Engine. That's all about this compute. But one thing that I want to focus more on is these concepts. Look at the diagram on the right hand side. Infrastructure as a service means you get lot of, because all of these things are being handled by you. You just get a machine, but all the deployment and installation is being handled by you. So you get a lot of control, but at the same time you are losing the functionality of fully managed kind of thing. You have to do everything on your own. Whereas in case of PaaS and SaaS, you lose control because all of that is being handled by GCP. You lose control. You don't get a lot of flexibility, but a lot of things is automatically handled or taken care by GCP. So you can choose your program, your deployment model based on how much comfortness do you have with the infrastructure. We can I have written few which you can read to understand more about this. I'll share my blog details at the end of this talk. Now, apart from compute engine and infrastructure service, GCP exposes more than 350 APIs, which means that lot of applications you can build with minimal effort. You must have seen Zomato or Uber kind of application. They using already implemented maps services from various providers, which means that they only have to integrate those APIs in their application. They don't define their street view and all that maps. It's already built and they just have to use it in their application. What does that mean? It means that you can focus only on your applications rather than building something implemented. Similar to maps, there are 350 plus different APIs are available, which you can utilize in your application, and you can very quickly get started with your application. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that I want to focus more on machine learning related offerings of GCP. and there, in specifically, I want to focus more on 4 different APIs that GCP provides. The first one is natural language API. API, I hope you all understand. It's just that you fire a request to the server, and the server will reply back with certain data, which your application can use it and show it on their front end. API does not provide front end. It's only a backend mechanism to communicate. So with natural language API, I mean, you can pass in a text data to your API, and you can extract these information from your text. What are they? Sentiment analysis, which means that you can pass in, for example, reviews of product or movie, and this API will tell you whether people are happy about it or sad about it. So this API can tell you the sentiment of the user while writing this text. Entity recognition. You can pass in a text and you can tell that, find out all the location name from this text, or find out all the airport names from this text, or entities could be, related to all the dates or names of a person. So these are called standard entities that you can extract from any text data. So you can pass in the text and extract these entities out of it. Third is syntactic analysis, which means that it can tell you what are the verbs, adjectives, nouns, etc., from your text. Where you can use it, say for example, you passed in a huge data set of news articles, and if you want to extract the topics, so I just gave in the text of all the news articles, and I want to find out this news article is related to sports or politics or something else. I can do that with the help of syntactic analysis. Text categorization. If I want, it's similar, where I want to categorize the text, based on the text, whether it is related to sports or politics and all that. It's not that you can use only Google's pre-trained model only. You can customize this model based on your data. Let's say if I give a data set of medical terminology, okay, all the notes that doctors make, if I give that data to, I can train a model with that terminology. So I can customize the model. Now, we looked at what kind of information that we can extract out of natural language APIs. But where can we use it? As I mentioned, we can use it for document classification, which means that, let's say, for example, I passed in, sports, a lot of news data. Now I want to categorize it into sports or politics and etc. I can do that with document classification application. Of course, it will use this natural language APIs. I can use it for product review analysis, as we discussed earlier. I can use it for text summarization. Let's say if I passed in a huge blob to this API, I can tell it to, give me a small summary of this blob. We can use it for this application. I can use it for topic detection, as I mentioned, politics, sports, etc., etc. So that's about natural language API. Let me talk about some of the features that Visual API gives. What is it used for? It is used to extract certain information from images. What do you mean by that? You can pass in, people's images, and it will find out the faces of various people from that. You would have seen Facebook and all the social media which can tag themselves. tag automatically. The tagging can happen in two ways. First of all, detect the faces in the image and then try to match those faces with their models. So, but for that, it has to first detect the faces, and that's where the Vision API comes into play. Another use case is landmark detection, which means that if your images consist of various well-known landmarks, say for example, Taj Mahal or something else, I don't know. So this API can detect background images and find out, the landmark which is present in your image. And the place where the application where it can be useful is, in Google Photos, you might have seen, give me all the images which is related to mountains or lakes. That's where this kind of API can be helpful. Logo detection. It can detect logos of well-known companies, Tesla or any well-known companies. It can detect labels, which means that you provide the image and it can find the labels out of it. For example, it's a busy street, or the image consists of signals, or image consists of boy playing. Those kind of labeling you can do with these APIs. Text detection, which is very, very useful in today's world, which means that you pass in an image and you tell it that extract out all the text that you see in the image. Now, where can you use this? You must be aware that earlier all of the documentation used to happen in physical copies. Let's say invoices or shipping related challan or any other document. That was all hard copies earlier days. And these enterprises or companies are actually maintaining all of these physical copies of these documents. Now, since they want to digitize all of this, they might want to take a picture of all of these documents, and they may say extract all the information from these images, textual information, and then store it in your database. That's what is called as digitization of the applications or of your assets. So that's where this comes into picture, and the concept is called optical character recognition. Image properties it can extract. For example, you pass in an image and it can find out what are the most prominent colors in this image. Object localization, which means that if an image is given and has a lot of objects present in that, for example, a boy cycling on a street. In the same street, somebody is driving a car, or somebody is walking. So there are a lot of objects in the single image, but these APIs can automatically find out the small objects in the image, and it can tell you that this object is present at this bounding boxes. It can mark the bounding boxes on these images, and it can give it back to you. Another use case where you can use this is crop hint detection, which means that if you clicked a photograph which consists of a lot of information but useless or not very useful information, so it can tell you that main object lies within this region, you can choose to crop this image. So that's a hint that API provides. Web entities recognition, which means that you can pass in an image and you can tell that, get me all the similar images that you find on internet. Explicit content detection, which means that it can detect, adult or violent information present in the images. So it can tell you if if this kind of content is found in the API, you can choose what to do. Maybe you can discard the image, you can delete the image, or you can notify the person who has posted that image that this is not allowed, kind of thing. So all of these is possible with the help of Vision API. Now let me tell you, of course, I have given lots of examples. Let me give you some of the examples where you can use this. Image recommendation. You pass in an image, and it can give you recommendation that you might also be interested in these kind of images. Another application where you can use this is product search. So for example, you can pass in a person's image to this API, saying that find out the jacket that he is wearing, find out all the related images, or find out all the shopping sites with the jacket that he is wearing. So look at the huge potential that it uncovers. What are all things you can do with these APIs? Document classification. As I mentioned, you can, let's say whenever you go to bank and tell them, I want to open a bank account, they will ask you for lots of documents. You might have to provide Aadhaar card, driving license, your passport, etc., etc. Now, all of these documents, bank will store it in one folder. But let's say in future, if they want to categorize all the documents, they want to split it into, all Aadhaar cards should go into one folder, all passports should go into another folder. How can they do it? They can do it with the help of something called as document classification. And that can be implemented with the help of Vision APIs. Digitization of documentation, which means we already talked about, digitization of your physical copies of the documents. That's where you can use this Vision APIs. Now let me move on to the third API, which is even more interesting, video intelligence, which means you pass in the video files to the API and it can give lots of insight about your video. Of course, it can detect all of what image intelligence used to, or image or Vision API used to extract. Video intelligence also extracts all of this information, plus it gives little more information. For example, object detection and tracking the object. Let's say if you have a video where a person is walking from one end to the other, it can track it. It can tell you that that person has walked from this place to other. Short change detection. Now, let me tell you that, let's say if you have a room where you have employed a kind of CCTV camera. It's not very busy room, so that, very rarely people come. And let's say in that room, some robbery has happened. Now, you know that this robbery has happened on a particular day. But which part of the day, and let's say you are in charge to find out, what time or who has done the robbery. Now, you can't go and look at the CCTV footage for the entire day. What you would leverage is something called as short change detection. So this API will let you know that some changes has happened in the video at these time durations. So you only have to go and look at those time durations. Another use case that you can do, you can utilize this is automated subtitles, which means that you pass in the video and it will automatically generate the subtitles of what audio is going on. Of course, it can detect logo detection, label detection, text detection that we talked in the previous slide. It can also detect celebrities in the video. And of course, explicit content detection that as we discussed in the previous slide. Where you can use these APIs. Content moderation. Okay. Another use case is recommend content. Let's say if a video is being played in YouTube, it can detect what's going on in the video, and accordingly it can recommend various other videos as well. Contextual advertisement, based on what video is going on, it can prompt advertisement based on what is going on. So you can leverage this API for that purpose. Another purpose that you can use is make video searchable. Let's say if you have a huge bank of videos. Now, out of all your videos, if you want to find out all the videos of, let's say, hippopotamus. So this API can go over all your videos and will tell you exactly which videos has hippopotamus, along with at what duration in the video that that object is visible. Look at the huge potential of this API. What all you can do with these APIs. I know I'm running over time, but I want to make this get you started with this. I want a lot of conviction to happen in your brain after this call, after this session. Let me move on to the fourth API, which is translation. So of course, you guys have already used it when you go abroad. It can convert your text from one language to other. It can take a picture. You can take a picture and pass it on to translation API. It can convert that API. It can convert your language and prompt it back to you. So way you can utilize this. You can of course utilize it for internationalization of your application, and of course localization of your application. Let me move on to now that I have given lots of information about where you can utilize GCP. Of course, you would have this question in your mind: how do I get started with this? So I have jotted down few of the information that you can get started with. If you like browser, or the UI way of interacting with Google Cloud, you can go onto this website or this URL, console.cloud.google.com. And that's where you can register yourself and create a account there. As soon as you create your account, you get a $300 free credit, and you can use this free credit for creating any service on Google Cloud. Whether you want to create a machine, or you want to create a database, or you want to use ML related APIs, you can use this $300 for all of these purposes. If you don't like browser way and you are comfortable with command line instructions, you can download Google Cloud SDK and get started with a simple instruction called G-Cloud. Where you can get registered, and they will give you a step-by-step instructions on the tutorial to just as simple as you will see the screen, click on this button, then you will see this screen, type this, etc. So it is at that simple level that they have created these tutorials. As a newbie, it's a good resource for you guys to get started. If you prefer YouTube videos, here are some of the channels channels and playlists which you can subscribe to and get started with all the videos. That gives you a good understanding of all the services that is present in GCP. Quick Labs, I must say that one of the best platform that you can choose for hands-on exercises. This platform will let you create the, it gives step-by-step tutorial, and at the same time, it will allow you to create resources on Google Cloud with no cost. You will be able to create resources by going onto the, Google Cloud Console, even sometimes through Google SDK, CLI commands. And the best part that provides is they have designed the tutorials in the form of quests and labs. Quests are more of a learning path, and for each learning path, learning path are something like you can choose whether you are interested in DevOps kind of thing, database kind of thing, data engineering kind of thing, or deployment kind of thing. So you can choose your path. For each path, they have quests, and under each quest, they have different labs catering to each services in falling in that vertical. So I would highly encourage you to go into this quick labs and register yourself. Coursera. So Google developer advocates have created few courses and they have made it available on Coursera. You can choose your learning, whether you are interested in security or you're interested in cloud platform or machine learning. You can choose your interest, and they have courses for all of that on Coursera. So, and Coursera, of course, as you know, it provides 1 month of free access. So within that 1 month, you can prep up yourself for all of these services. And of course, we cannot forget Google Cloud's documentation. They have provided reference architecture on their website for all types of use cases. If you want any solution for data management, they have provided solution there. For all of the types of use cases that you can think of, they have provided reference architecture on their documentation site. With this, I would like all of you to try yourself, and I would encourage you to take the single biggest step of get registered with Google Cloud, and or everything else will get fall in place. I would also like you all to keep a distant goal for yourself to get certified on Google Cloud. There are various certifications available on Google Cloud, and there's a huge, immense value to these certifications. When you can add all of these resume to your resume, and that's something that you can showcase on your social media also. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Here is my single social media handle. I'm available on Medium, where I write all my blogs. I'm quite active on LinkedIn and Twitter. And the social media handle is Nirav. I hope I get connected with all of you. Thank you so much. And with this, I would open up the stage for question and answer.
Thank you so much, sir, for having so much insightful experience for all of us. It means a lot, and even we have gained a lot of insight from this. So I'm hoping that the participants have obviously gained a lot of insights from this. And we are now open to question and answer. So if you have any questions, you can just drop in the chat box.
Yeah, so the first question in the chats is, what are the prerequisites to learn cloud computing?
So I don't think there are prerequisites. You can get started as a newbie, and there are lots of content available, which is going to help newbies to get started. So there's no prerequisite as such. Of course, you need to know the basics of the computing. Basically, what is computer, what is operating system, what is RAM. All of these basic concepts you should know, but otherwise there's no prerequisites. Let me tell you one more thing. I want to give you an example of one of the guy who used to be a part of our community at the age of 12 years. At in the 8th standard, he used to attend our community events. He used to attend all the talks that we used to organize. And today, he's one of the, I won't call it that, but he's at a very good position as of now. He's still in the 12th standard, and he's at a very good. A lot of companies are are going behind him.
Really inspiring for all of us, I guess.
Yeah.
One other question. It is how cloud computing services are secured. Is there any chance of a data breach?
Good question, and a lot of organizations also have this question. I would say Google Cloud and providers, for that matter, have enabled so many security aspects so that your data resides quite secured in their environment. Of course, you need to show your willingness to take your data out of your premises. But otherwise, the kind of security that you can leverage within your organization as an individual, there are lots of security that these cloud providers are providing in today's world, which is much larger than what you can provide as an individual level. So your data is quite secure, but you need to show the willingness. So there are lots of videos available that you can search on internet that gives you a kind of insight on what kind of security that they are providing, right from physical level. Their data centers, nobody is allowed to enter until it is biometrically authorized. Plus, even in that, not everyone is allowed to look at the physical hardware devices. Only the DevOps engineers of that data center would be allowed to go there near your hard disk and your computer. So I must say that you should go and visit that video that explains you what kind of security standards that Google is providing when you are deploying your application on GCP.
The question is, can we train vision to custom tags? As you gave an example of Aadhaar card, if we have PAN card and driving license side by side, then how does computer vision going to categorize between them? Because both the cards have the same size.
Right. So there's something called as AutoML. Okay. AutoVision. You can use all of these services for customize your model. You can customize this model to detect the custom objects, whether that custom object is physical object, something like a box or a light or bed or anything, or it could be something like a document. So you can train your model, and GCP allows you to customize your model accordingly.
So we have one other question. For a beginner to GCP, could you mention some services of GCP that one could get exposed to apart from Google App Engine and the APIs that GCP provides?
You need to decide your path first. Whether you're more interested in computing services, or you are more interested in data engineering side of it, or you are interested in machine learning side of it. All of these verticals have different services. For computing, I would say, go with GCE, which is Google Compute Engine and App Engine. And it would be unfair if I take only these two names. But there are various other services, and you must know all of those services to be efficient engineer. Now that was only about computing power. There are machine learning related services also. Now in machine learning, you have to choose whether you want to develop a model or you want to use the model. You want to be, like a develop model, then there are services called as AI platform, which allows you to create this model with training and all that. And once you create the model, how do you make it available to your application through REST APIs and all that? So that is one part if you are interested too much in machine learning. If you are only interested in using it rather than developing the models, then probably you can use APIs, natural language APIs, translate API and all that, where you are just using the APIs, you're not training the model. So that's how, so to summarize, depending on your interest area, you can choose the services that you should go for.
Another question is, can you explain the infrastructure as a service part again?
Okay, so when we say infrastructure as a service, by infrastructure, we mean, in fact, all your hardware. In hardware, we usually hardware comprises of physical machine, basically a machine where you can run your application. Second, their operating system. Third, the hard disk that you might have, the network where all your services will be running. So all of this usually comes into, if you want to gain control of all of these services, then you probably want to have infrastructure as a service you might want to leverage that. But if you want to just focus only on creating a Python application or a Java application, but once the application is created with that, I don't want to focus on server, network, hard disk and all that, then probably you want to go for platform as a service. I hope it is clear.
Okay, so I hope all the questions are answered till now. But if still you got any questions, any of the participants, you reach out to any of the three lead out of us. We'll convey it to sir, and if sir is available, he may answer, or even we may help you. So I hope you all got your answers clear till now. Now I would like sir to come up with the quiz thing that he has prepared for all of us.
Sure. So this is just a simple test, whether how attentive were you during the talk. So I'll get to know whether my session or presentation was interesting or not. So let me now present few questions to you. Question number 1. As a developer, I want to focus only on application code and not on deployment. Which service on GCP will I use?
Manali has answered platform as a service.
That is just a concept. That is wrong. Platform as a service is a concept, and this concept is provided by all the cloud providers. But I am asking about a service that is running on GCP, which is equivalent to PaaS, platform as a service. So what is that service called?
So Vidhi Jain got it. She wrote engine as name.
Perfect. That's a right answer.
Congratulations, Vidhi. You will get your rewards as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone ready for the next question? Here comes the second question. How many APIs are available in GCP suite to speed up your app development?
definite answer, like 350 plus is not definite, so please be definite.
I have not spoken about this during my talk, but it was visible on one of the slides. I have intentionally not spoken.
Ananya is near, I guess. Yeah, Ananya is near.
Let's time bound it and see whoever is the nearest to the right answer. Do you want to give 10 more seconds? Okay, that's it. So, would you like to declare the winner?
Yeah, Hardik Gupta gave it, I think. Yeah, he gave the answer 351. So yeah, he's the first
Perfect.
one to give it.
Very nice. Congratulations. 351 is the right answer. As of now, there are 351 APIs available. So that will make your application development much more faster. This number holds true as of today. Tomorrow it could be different. They are increasing these APIs at a very high speed. So today it is 351. Okay. Are you all ready for the third and the last question? Here. Which two are available in India? By the way, the
Gave
second.
it first. Varun Mehta. He gave it
Okay.
first. Delhi and
Congratulations,
Mumbai.
Varun.
Congratulations.
Okay. So the second region, Delhi, which has recently come up. It's not even a month's time now. They launched this region. So otherwise, there was only one region available in Mumbai earlier. Okay, so that ends my presentation. How do you want to go next now?
Soham, please continue.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, I think so. We are done with the cloud thing that we have planned for in the presentation for the today's session. So, if you got any doubt or anything, you can just reach out to the community channel on our channel. We will make sure that the question is going to the sir, and you are getting the questions answered. And I hope even sir you enjoyed this session. And
Absolutely, it was my pleasure. I really loved, giving this session here. Such a huge crowd, and VJTI and all of these colleges were one of my, I was dreaming about these colleges when I was studying. But today I couldn't make it. But today I'm quite happy that I'm able to inspire you guys. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And in case if you guys have any question, even after this presentation, you can always reach out to me. Note down my social media handle. Be more than happy to help you. It could be anything related to GCP, any career advices. I would always be there for you. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, sir. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much.
sir.
Thank you.
Now we will be starting with showing you the tracks and showing you the way how you will redeem your credits. So if anyone has a doubt in this, they can stay. Rest all can leave the meet. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a pleasure to host you all. Thank you so much, sir, for being there, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for your insights as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving on to the cloud tracks. So there are, as you can see, there are 2 tracks which you can complete. Like you can complete either one of them or both of them. The first track focuses on cloud engineering. It's a cloud engineering tracks, which means it focuses on more of cloud computing, like deploying Kubernetes, using Dockers, deploying and managing cloud environments, etc. Building secure networks in cloud. Well, the second track is written as a data science and machine learning track. So by the get-go, you can know what the track is about. It's more about machine learning and data sciences. There's one track there's one module known as explore machine learning models with AI. There's engineer data in Google Cloud. So basically, those are the 2 Google tracks. Next, we'll move on to the rewards. Yeah. So, as you saw, there are 2 tracks. If you complete any one of them, you will get a T-shirt and a sticker pack. And if you succeed in completing both of them, then you'll get a bag and a bottle along with the track on prizes. Next, we can move on to the badges.
So whenever you complete any of the quests in the process of completing the course, you will be earning skill badges. These skill badges are very essential for your profile. This is because that whenever you will be assigned with these skills, you can share it in the LinkedIn and Twitter and every social media, and also you can put it in your resume to show. So, for example, if you have got the badge of deploy to Kubernetes, so you can just show it in your resume, and the recruiter can know that yeah, you know how to deploy applications using Kubernetes on Google Cloud. So these would be very essential for your profile, and you need to store them, and you can also share it on different social media platforms like LinkedIn. So these would be very helpful to you as and when you complete different quests and challenges provided by these courses.
Now I'll be walking you through how to redeem the monthly subscription on Quick Labs. So this is a short video I'd like to show you. So once you get the mail, you open an incognito window on your browser and click the link that has been provided to you in the mail. There'll be a code that will be provided, and you paste the code once you're prompted to do so. Once you do that, you sign into your Quick Labs account. You can see the blue button there to sign in. On signing in, you will find 9 credits in your account. In case you do not see the 9 credits, please repeat all the steps once again. After doing that, you go to a tour of Quick Labs in Google Cloud Lab. You press Start Lab and start doing the lab. It is not mandatory to do it, but you have to spend at least 5 minutes on the lab. Once 5 minutes are done, you can end the lab. On completing the lab, okay, you can give a feedback on how the lab was and all of that. After that's done, you refresh the page. After refreshing it, you'll get your monthly subscription.
Anyone has any doubt in this redeeming the monthly subscription? Because many of them were asking this doubt, how to redeem and all. Okay. So you guys have no doubts? Like, can you acknowledge? No doubt. After monthly subscription, do we have to every time use
Using incognito window is not mandatory, but it is preferred always to do it in an incognito window. Perform the labs there so that it shows up on you get the skill badge for that particular quest that you complete. But it's not mandatory.
Krishna Charan, you will get the mail by today or by
We'll
tomorrow.
talk to the cloud team
Yeah.
because the last 10K slot haven't still got their mails.
And
Yes.
Jeet, to get the second month subscription, you have to complete
Subscription.
a quest.
Yes.
So you will get the second month subscription as well.
Yes, to get the 2 month subscription, you need to complete a quest. After that, you can get your 2 month subscription as well. This quest is not part of your tracks. The tracks are different. This quest is different.
No, the quest is a part of the track one.
Is it because uh, I heard that it's all right? All right, it's not. It's all right. Like okay, they can complete the quest too.
If we do use incognito, all our activity will be logged. Yeah, your activity will log because you'll be signing in, right?
Pankti, you can follow through the steps again and try doing all of the steps properly again in an incognito window, and I'm sure you will get those credits.
In case if you do not, then you can contact the support alias, that is DSC Quicklabs at the DSC support at the rate quicklabs.com.
To complete tracks, Vineet, you will have this link in your email, like program syllabus karke. So you can click on that, and you will be redirected to a page wherein you will see all the labs that come under your track.
Hardik, I guess that's the same answer. You just go through the syllabus and click on whichever quest you want to do first and start doing the labs. Its detailed instructions are provided. You just have to follow them.
Or labs from today itself. Yes, yes, you can start from today.
Sakshi, you don't have 9 credits. After getting 9 credits, you have to complete a tour of Quick Labs in Google Cloud Lab and you'll get a monthly subscription. So you're not actually using the 9 credits to be doing all the quests.
Yes, once you get monthly subscription, then you can go for labs.
Yash, as you have asked that what do you have to do from tomorrow, so you have to start completing those labs and quests so you can complete a track.
The task will be given to you. You just have to follow the steps in the lab. Just click on Start Lab and it will tell you what all you have to do. You just have to go on following it along. Any other doubts?
If anyone still has doubts as in what steps you have to follow or what are the tasks you need to complete, what is the order of those tasks or quests, I have shared the link of program syllabus in the chat box. You can follow it.
Yeah, exactly, Sarthak, because it will end on 25th. That is why they're providing you a subscription for 2 months.
Where they can see the quests for getting 2 month subscription.
Yeah, can you just play the video in the mail? It's there.
Uh-huh.
Could you just zoom into that?
Any particular part where I can directly go?
Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, to get your second month pass for Quick Labs, complete any one of the quests that are featured in the program syllabus and on the badge. So as you're doing the syllabus, as you're doing it, you will complete a quest anyway, right? For the program. So you will get your monthly or the second month subscription.
Hardik has one doubt.
Where
Can anyone take that? So after every quest, lab is compulsory, right?
In one quest, there are around
5,
5 to
6
6
labs
labs, and you have to complete all of those labs to
to
complete
complete
one
a
quest.
quest.
And when
And
you
after
complete
completing
one
a quest, you get a skill badge.
skill badge, yeah, right.
Deadline of Google Cloud
No,
course.
there is no daily deadline. By 27th October, you have to complete either one of the tracks or both the
Or
tracks.
both the tracks.
Completing half of both tracks is not going to work. So either complete one completely or both of them.
What should we repeat, Krishna Charan? Acha, skill batches. Sarah, Janvi, anyone? What do you like?
What is the question?
Okay.
Know about skill batches.
Okay, so as Sarah has already mentioned that when you complete a particular quest, you will get a skill patch, and like you can collect all of them, you can show them off on the LinkedIn or add them in your resume, like that.
What will we get after completing either? I think Janu already told you the prizes, right?
So I guess he's asking about the skill badges. I guess they're confused between the skill badges and the prizes. So if you complete a track, you get the prizes which we discussed, and if you complete the modules of the tracks, then you'll get the skill badges.
Varun Mehta, I guess Tejasvi has already shared the program syllabus link to see the quests. Can you just share it in the chat?
I have shared it again.
Can anyone take the doubt of Vaibhav Shah? He's asking that since there are two tracks and one of it includes machine learning. So is there any prerequisite of Python language?
Yeah, you will need to know a little bit, like basic stuff and all.
Yeah, so
And we will be conducting sessions and speaker sessions, and also you can learn our own as well.
yeah.
You will not get LinkedIn shareable certificate, like yeah, the end certificate you will get that you can share on LinkedIn, but you will get LinkedIn shareable skill badges.
Uh, Kshitiz, I guess you're asking, can you estimate the time for completion of one quest? I guess that's what you're asking. If
The time is provided in Quick Labs. It tells you an
yeah.
estimate of how many hours you'll be requiring,
Yeah.
but you won't require that much time. You'll complete it in like half of that also.
Okay. So any other questions?
I think the questions are done.
Yeah, I guess it is.
There's one. I only know the Java language. Do I able to do second try?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
will be able to do.
So there are step-by-step things for like instructions given for each track. So if you follow them and probably take your time to understand them, you can complete the tracks.
Rushali is asking if the recordings will be available.
Yes, Roshali, the recordings will be made available soon. Yeah. Doubts? The platform is open. You can ask. There are no doubts, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Wait,
okay.
Q&A
So Q&A में आया?
I'm not able to see the syllabus link.
Uh,
Can someone just help Yash with that?
yeah. Wait, I'll DM him.
Yeah, participants have mentioned the link again in the chat box. You can refer to that.
See it now, Yash? You are from which college, Yash? So your lead can send you directly.
Weber was asking where would the recordings be available.
From Nagpur.
Should I take up Yash's question first? So you can go to the official site for 30 days of Google Cloud. You can see the syllabus there itself.
Are not able to get it, then you can mail any of the leads. Our emails are provided in the chapter itself, so you can mail us. We'll guide you there.
Weber was asking where would the recordings be available.
It will be available soon. We will most probably we will upload it on YouTube so that it is accessible to everyone.
Sakshi for the second track, machine learning one.
Okay, so I the questions. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for your patience and participation.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
And all of the three leads will be pasting all of their socials in the chat box. So if any one of you want to connect with any of the chapters, you can just hop onto the links provided.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining in and staying in here till the end. And I hope we have answered all of the questions. If you still have got any questions, you can answer. You can ask any of the lead or the facilitator. We'll be happy to help you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, panel.